Let's now check on the markets. In Nigeria, the NSE All Share Index closed at 36,215 points today, so flatlining today, down only about 0.04%. This was as a result of losses seen in companies like Nigerian Breweries, Champion Breweries, Cadbury Nigeria, and Presco. On the other hand, we did see gainers include the likes of Glasgow, SmithKline, PZ Cousins, Lafarge Wapco, which was, of course, was a gainer in early trade, and Stanbic IBTC. Now, the NSE All Share Index, like I mentioned, is little change today. Banking stocks came under some pressure as the market continues to lack a catalyst to drive a rally. Right now, Babatunde Sholanke, research analyst at FSDH Merchant Bank, is standing by to give us his thoughts on the latest news moving the markets. Jide, thank you so much for joining us. And let's talk about ETI. Of course, it's been in the news recently for the wrong reasons. There's some discussion around corporate governance issues there. The SEC coming out earlier to suggest that they would be investigating those allegations. But we continue to see that the share price is holding up pretty well. Does this suggest to you that this is nothing to worry about?
Basically, this is nothing to worry about until there's clarity from the regulatory body that clears the air on the suspicion highlighted.
Right. Well, we'll see how things play out. But your thoughts on the market pulse right now? We continue to see very weak trading, although today we did see volumes move up significantly to about 3 billion. But of course, many people will say this is an outlier. We have seen the market continue to trade very low volumes. At what point do you expect a pickup in trading activity?
Thank you for Wale. Historically, the market doesn't really do well in August and September. If you look at data from 1998 till date, to 2012, and of course, and you see that repeated itself in August in 2013, and we expect the same for September 2013. As I said, no major catalyst out there that will, catapult or galvanize people into action to make them to begin to take that position that everybody expects that will drive the market up. So it's a normal thing, it's a normal historical trend that's occurring again in 2013. So
that said, is this a great time to buy shares in your view?
Yeah, it is. Great time to buy shares. The current spate of losses that we've seen in the capital market, in the equities market, offers opportunities for stocks that have good fundamental values.
All right, and which stocks are those for you? Which stocks do you like best at this time?
I like Flour Mill Story. I like Dangote Sugar, and I like some banking stock space as well. First Bank, GT Bank, Senate Bank, and Sky Bank.
Right. Of course, Dangote is in the news today about his plans to build an oil refinery and a petrochemical plant. A huge project. Is going to spend about $9 billion for that one. But moving back to Dangote Cement, of course, the one that's already listed on the stock exchange. Your thoughts about the valuation of that stock and the opportunity that presents?
The building material stocks which Dangote Cement belongs to offer tremendous opportunities for the medium to long term for any investor. I say this because Nigeria is backward in terms of infrastructural development, and these are companies that are key for us meeting the 2020 vision, and even beyond the 2020 vision of a better society, of a more developed society, of a more egalitarian society. So going forward, I pretty feel that Dangote Cement is pretty cheap, depending on what your investment horizon is. I'm not talking about speculation of 2-3 months, turn your money around. If you're looking at the long haul, if you believe in the field of Nigerian economy, like most investors, even local and abroad, do believe Dangote Cement still looks pretty cheap, even at its current valuation.
All right. If we look into that XGen takeoff that is planned for this month, of course, XGen is the new trading platform that the stock exchange is installing. And what I'm hearing is that it's almost good to go. They're only dotting the I's at this stage. Your thoughts about the impact this is likely to have for the stock market?
Well, quickly, I'd like to tell you that one thing Nigerian Stock Exchange Management has tried to do is that they've made sure that we don't become dinosaurs. They've made sure that stockbrokers and investing public catch up with the best practices in equities trading. And if you look behind me, if you can just see the color behind the screen, you will see that stockbrokers are currently doing a readiness test, both in here and remotely. Stockbrokers are testing the skills on this exchange, and it offers tremendous opportunities in terms of transparency, in terms of liquidity, in terms of reach, and can only get better. The Nigerian equities market continues to move in leaps and bounds to make sure that it captures this global capital that is flowing around to bring it to the Nigerian market, to help us develop that much development that the Nigerian economy does need. And as I said, look behind me, the management of the Nigerian Stock Exchange is stopping at nothing to make sure that everybody is on board. There are teething problems. These have been resolved between the brokers and the management, and everybody's excited about it. Everybody is optimistic about the potential, and we will believe that it will take the trades, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, into a better level of engagement
All right,
with the investing public.
I can't quite catch a good view of what you're referring to behind you there, but I guess the good news is that the stockbrokers are getting ready for the takeoff. So XGen is likely to take off at some point this month, perhaps towards the end of the month. That perhaps may be the catalyst going into the fourth quarter, in your view, because what XGen is essentially designed to do is to get investors from wherever they are across the world to log in and invest in Nigerian stocks. Do you think that could be the catalyst that will take the market higher in the fourth quarter?
Yes, one of them definitely is SGen. Another factor we'll look at again is that there's this slowdown, the thinking that the quantitative easing program in the United States that has made people scared about coming further into Nigeria, being a major frontier market, is that if they unwind this quantitative easing program in the United States, there's going to be this enormous capital flight from the Nigerian economy, from the Nigerian equities market, likewise in the fixed income market, because people will be scared of rising interest rate in the United States and all of that. But that's not going to happen in September as people anticipated. So that again, because of the postponement, and we don't even say this quantitative easing going to happen until Ben Bernanke, the Federal Reserve Chairman, leaves office sometime early next year. So that is one catalyst again. And again, if you look at the Nigerian market, global institutional investors are no longer excited about the emerging market, the BRIC nations, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And Nigeria beckons to them because of the tremendous opportunities, because of the current reform agenda in the power, in the agricultural sector, and because of the infrastructure build-up in the economy. And of course, it's going to be more exciting fourth quarter than the third quarter currently.
But where do you see the index ending the year, Jide? It's now down. It's now up only about 29%. It's really trimmed those gains we saw earlier this year. Maybe some people suggesting that 35% is perhaps where it's likely to end. What's your view?
About the same level. Sometime back in this program, I mentioned that our current valuation of the FSDG is that the market will get about 5 to 6% from its end June, that is half-year figure. And that is the trend we're seeing, even despite the fact that they kind of trend away from it, but we still strongly feel as the market has shown. Because if you look at it, the equities market has done tremendously well, has beat all expectations. The only way it can do is for us to have this intermittent profit taking, because stocks have done very well. Apart from the stocks that seem illiquid, but for the most banking and the highly capitalized stocks that are very liquid stocks, we'll continue to see people take profit at one point or the other, and that will open up again investing opportunities for people to come in and take another ride into the first year of into the first quarter of 2014.
Well, we certainly hope those opportunities open up, like you mentioned. Thank you so much for joining us, Jide Sholanke from FSD Commercial Bank, talking us through the Nigerian stock market.